Alright.
The sepulcher of the first ones. Within this sacred space, the very fabric of the afterlives is woven.
Heaven Blade, hold here. The entrance lies ahead. Be wary. The defenses protecting the Sepulcher's secrets will be unlike any you have encountered before.
The mortal mind could never hope to comprehend its mysteries, but you must press onward and thwart the jailer's treachery.
Notice this time we've brought Uther and Sylvanas with us. She still has her bow. I would have liked it if they had actually done what happened with, So after, Alright, so in Legion, when Illidan came back, he didn't have the Warglaives of Azeroth anymore, because we took them, the players. Remember, because we could loot them from him in the Black Temple and Burning Crusade. I would have liked if Sylvanas showed up here with a different bow, because the hunters took them. You know, the hunters would have taken her bow. Or a hunter, you know. Just a kind of a fun little acknowledgement, you know. Now, it's not entirely clean in terms of the continuity for that, because when he first shows up in the Nighthold, he still has them, but then later on in the dungeon, Cathedral, he does have the different Warglaives that you could get back then from the Mage Tower. But, anyways. Welcome to the Sepulcher of the First Ones. The jailer has breached the Sepulcher, the mysterious heart of the Shadowlands. Should he control its primordial power, he will reshape the cosmos with death at the fore. As Zoval prepares to dominate reality, champions of Azeroth charge forth to stop him. Will their resolve outmatch his? Gotta check if there's a BOE. Alright. So this is the Vigilant Guardian, or rather, that thing over there in the door is the Vigilant Guardian. This eternal guardian lies in wait, keeping a timeless vigil over the entrance to the Sepulcher of the First Ones. This is basically a trash fight. Like, we have to fight a whole bunch of these things in order to be able to get the cores from these things here, in order to take it there, and then fight that thing. You'll see, it's a long fight. It's not very fun. It's kind of boring, honestly.
I can't use that. I can't use that.
There we go. May as well grab everything. So once we fight that thing, it's going to start the fight. But yeah, we basically have to clear this whole platform of ads in order to be able to get the boss.
5, 4, 3,
Oh my gosh.
2, 1, 1.
I wonder if that's going to keep the priest out. I think it will, because everything's locked off. So, there's a schematic thing you can get, but you have to have a certain research done with the ciphers in order to be able to do so. I know this because I couldn't find it or loot it because I haven't done that research yet. So because I haven't done that research yet, it's not even there for me to loot, but apparently he has done so, and he's only just now getting it. But then again, we have to remind ourselves, LFR, for some players, is literally the only way they're able to participate in raids. It's just kind of how it is. Some people have trouble grasping that, but it's true. Some people may want to actually try these on normal. Some people may be too nervous to try it on normal. And why did we lust?
Prefabricated sentry crafted flag.
Wow.
Force field. Volatile Magrian.
I'm not gonna. I was about to type why did we lust, but nope. Did that guy leave as soon as he got it?
Dissonance.
Hold on. He got it, and then he left. He was here only for that, and then he left. Wow.
Find shelter.
Alright, so now we get in the force field to survive that from the Guardian. You'll be familiar with this if you saw the Guardian fight from the Sanctum. And so then we take one of those cores and take it over to the Guardian. I don't know why it won't let me interact with it, but whatever. As a DK, I probably shouldn't be one of those to actually do so anyway. It should probably be one of the more mobile classes, like a Demon Hunter, or a Druid, or a Shaman. Although the Mage is doing it. You saw the Mage heaved that in there.
Refracted flag. Volatile Magrian. Dissonance.
You can see what I mean about how this can be a pretty boring fight. Look at this. We're just so spread out. We're all over the place. People are already dead. We had somebody leave because he only came here for the schematic and then he took off.
Refracted flag.
This is not going well. This is why people consider LFR to be a complete mess. An absolute mess. And this is a clear example as to why.
Refracted flag.
I don't blame people for, who think that LFR is just an absolute, ridiculous mess. Because I have seen both good and bad LFR runs. I have even shown them on camera here on this channel. There have been times where it's gone pretty well, and there have been times where it has gone very badly. So it really,
Find shelter.
put an EMZ down, just to help mitigate that damage. And he put it up too. I was hoping he would have saved that for the next one, but whatever. So this first wing is going to be long because we have 4 bosses to face, and oh boy, do I have something to say about the last one, considering what I was just watching earlier today in the Race to World First. You want to talk about the wall of this raid, or at least the first one. We're probably going to have more. So the 3rd core goes in there, because it was over there.
Phase 2.
So now stage 2 begins, where that thing now comes out. It's not a ball we're facing. He's about to, change. See, now he has arms and legs. Now, see, this is still not where we would lust, because he has a Hard and Rage.
Refracted flag.
So once we get him down to 15% health, he's going to basically start what is basically kind of a self-destruct kind of thing, where he's going to be ready to, blow up, but what he's really going to be doing is just constantly shooting off big energy, blasts of energy that does big raid-wide damage, and it keeps getting stronger the longer it goes on. So at that point, it's basically a race against the clock, where it's like, oh, we have to quickly take him down. You see those yellow arrows, they need to get out of the raid, because then they cause those things. And if those things hit you, they hurt. I'm kind of waiting to use my cooldowns till we get to 15%, but at this rate, we may not. Because we have... we only have 4 DPS dead and only 1 healer, so maybe not that bad. Oh, see, I just noticed that was on myself. But I have the long timer, which is great for me, being a DK, so I can go way over here and get these away from the raid group. And then they go back to where I was, so not an issue. But yeah, this fight can take a while, and it's just not very fun. I get what they were going for with the idea of, you know, like, we're kind of trying to siege our way inside the Sepulcher against this, you know, thing that has been guarding the entrance for who knows how long, for thousands and thousands of years. And boy, am I glad I have AMS. Alright, so now is where we would lust here. Use your cooldowns, use everything! I think we're going to be fine. I was going to use a potion to give myself some more damage, but I think we're fine. We're fine. But you can see, like, it can just continues to do more and more damage.
The way opens. Step carefully. Mortals were never meant to enter this sacred ground. You will soon witness events that expand your understanding of existence.
So that's required to be able to upgrade our legendaries to an even higher level, which I have already done.
Insanity.
Ta-da! 291.
Order.
Yay! Again, I hate that it keeps cutting this stuff off on repeat runs, where Zavala is taunting us saying, your efforts are meaningless. You know, the typical villain going, your efforts to stop me are meaningless. How many villains have you ever heard say this? Like, your efforts are ridiculous. They are meaningless, for it is inevitable that I will win. I have already won. There's nothing you can do to stop me. I mean, seriously, how many villains have you heard say stuff like that? It's just such a typical thing of, you think you can stop me? You cannot, for I have already won. It's a very, like, you know, villain kind of thing to do. Oh gosh, woo! Yeah, so I think sometimes we actually go ahead and lust against this guy because, well, let's just say this is one of those elite ads where it's just like, yikes, he's really strong. In fact, someone did pop lust again here. Even though he's gonna retreat again.
You have discovered an ancient translocator. With it, you can access the sacred pattern and move through it. The mysteries of the Sepulcher are yours to unlock. I shall be taking extensive notes.
Sure thing, Firim. Have fun. So yeah, the real estate for this raid is pretty large. We have this transportation here to go to different areas. Upcoming here, you will see one of the upcoming bosses. There he is. Some call him the Panzer Tank, some call him the Crab. We will see him later. Oh, we're going this way. So I guess, are we heading to Zymox next? Because usually we head to Skolex next. Oh. Yeah, this trash is kind of annoying to deal with. See, Blizz, this is why a lot of people decide to just outright skip the trash and not bother with it, because they don't want to deal with this. I get that sometimes you're using this trash to try and teach people about what's going to happen in the upcoming boss fight, but at the same time, this just gets rather annoying. There's the currency that we use to upgrade our legendaries. So, I guess next we'll be facing a familiar face. Yeah, we can't go face Hollanders until we take down the other two bosses. Like you'll notice, that is closed off because we have to defeat the other two bosses to get to him.
Is there no end to your incessant hounding?
Hello again, Zymox.
I am past my breaking point!
Oh my gosh. I guess that was to reset Lust. After his defeat in Castle Nathria, Artificer Zymox sank back into the shadows to plot his next heist. With the Sepulcher the First Ones now vulnerable, Zymox has summoned the full might of the Zy Cartel to plunder the ancient knowledge and powerful relics buried there. So you'll see some familiar stuff here from our fight against him in Nathria, excuse me. Ooh, I like how that actually changed the appearance of my weapon, too. I have been corrupted by the Shah. Help me.
5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
I am past my breaking point!
We're supposed to lessen the third phase. It's LFR. I need to stop. I need to stop expecting people will know when to properly do the mechanics. Or the timings of certain things, like bloodlust and potions and stuff like that. You get so used to it, you don't even think about it when you get into something like this. So the portals from the Nathria fight are back here. So are those stasis traps. Now these teleporters are important. Oh, we lowered his health so much, we jumped to this intermission already. So he's going to have rings that will either drop down from the inside and spread out, or go towards the outside and come inside. We have to use these to avoid getting hit by them, because if we do, we die. They will one-shot us unless you have a way to either invul it, you know, make yourself invulnerable to it, or blink through it. So if you have Door of Shadows, for example, if you're a Venthyr, you can just go ahead and use Door of Shadows through it. So now we have to place the portals once again. These little circles will have... Well, let me show you. That bouncing light there, yeah, that's... that can hurt. And then there are the stasis traps. Just like how it was in the heroic fight against Zymox and Nathria. Alright, so you see the ring going up there? That means it's going to come from the outside. So what we have to do now, to avoid getting hit by it, we got to use the teleporter here in the middle to go to the outside to avoid getting hit. That's the main mechanic for this. Now, the tank has that bomb like in Nathria, except this one pulls us all to where he is. So that can get rather rough, especially based on the timing of when that bomb happens and when the rings happen. Because imagine when the ring is coming and then all of a sudden the bomb goes off, pulling all of us towards the ring and away from the teleporter. Yeah. Also, yeah, that big blast that the ad does there can hurt. It can hurt a lot. I think that one-shot me in one of our pools the other night. Or maybe that was last week, I think. Because I missed Zymox this week. So I had to work on our first raid night on Friday, and I joined for Saturday, which they were doing heroic progression, and we reached Hollanders, and we called it a night by the end. Like, I helped, you know, but then we had an alt raid on Sunday, and that was kind of fun, because I got to bring my Demon Hunter to that, because I had gotten her geared up, and we took down, we reached Hollanders that night, excuse me. So on our heroic night, we took down, I took down Guardian with Pugs to get my slot. Oh. Should probably pay attention here. Anyways. Oh, you see, another ring's coming. So yeah, multiple rings. So now we have to go do this again. Yep.
AOE incoming.
So you can die together.
Just to mitigate some damage from that.
I wonder what the next point in space has on your flank. Destruction is unavoidable.
Okay, so yeah, we took down Skolex, and then we were working on Sausage here, because that's what everyone is calling it now. They're just calling it Sausage, and oh boy. Oh, that's way to the outside. Whew. Alright, so that's going to be coming from the outside.
AOE incoming.
So that bomb pulled us towards there. Good, good. Very nice. Alright, someone's caught in the stasis trap. Can I? Yep. I got rid of one with my IBF, just like in Nathria. That's good to know. Ooh, nice. Okay, this is funny. So I got Upwarped Pocket Dimension. No matter how far you reach, the only thing you find within the bag is itself. This is like that gag where you just keep opening the box and there's always another box inside, and you just go, how far does this box go? It's rather funny.
Nelly deals for a friend of the Grummles. Like you. Farewell, friend.
I am out of range.
So this is open, but I'm pretty sure the way towards Hollanders is not open. Yeah, it's closed. Like I was trying to tell them, you have to take down the other bosses in order to unlock Hollanders. Oh, we're just gonna fight this, okay. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and just pull everything. You want to fight the trash? Fine, let's go ahead and do it. I know I probably shouldn't have done that, but at the same time, it's like, look, we could have skipped this. Yeah. Okay, sure, you want to fight the trash? Fine, let's do it.
Out of range.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and pop IBF again. Reduce some damage, get myself out of a nice stun there.
I need to target something.
I saw that gate up and I thought we wouldn't be able to go through it, but then they just kind of dropped it. Okay. Well, at least our path to Hollanders will be clear after this. Let's hope we don't pull that stuff there. So, this is the Devouring Pit. This is going to be familiar for anyone who did AQ40, because the boss here is... I wouldn't say he's, like, identical, but he kind of reminds me of him. He's kind of similar. So, back in the day, in the Temple of Ankaraj, there was this boss that people knew called Uru. Oh, gosh. This thing. Yeah, you guys remember him, right? For those of you who played back in the day. Now, I don't quite remember how the mechanics of that fight worked, but let's just say that this guy kind of does remind me of him a bit, more so in terms of, well, appearance, because you can kind of see the similarities, right? I'm not saying he's the same type of fight, but just kind of, I don't know, some of the visuals and such kind of remind me of it. But if you're wondering, what is this? With the Sepulcher of the First Ones vulnerable, Devourers swarm in to feed their hunger. Among these aberrations is the ravenous Skolex, as the Great Worm consumes vast amounts of ephemera. The Sepulcher is thrown out of balance and threatens to collapse upon itself. Why? Oh my gosh. Are we going to try to once again pull the boss and then reset it to reset Lust? Because... Hey. This is hilarious when you look at our comp here. We've got myself and the tank as the two Death Knights. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mages. We have 1 warlock. We have 2 priests. We have 2 druids. We have 1 rogue, 1 paladin, holy. We have a brewmaster. And we have 3 shamans.
Too far away.
based on the meters here, it looks like Resto and Enhancement. And Elemental, so all 3 specs. This is hilarious, though. The Resto Druid is really high up here on the DPS meter.
I do not.
Where did that sentry come from? So, one of the things about this guy that annoys me is that he has the Sludge Fist mechanic. For those who don't remember that fight, Sludge Fist from Nathria, this guy, had a mechanic where when he hit you, he would hit you twice, unless there were 2 players there. So both tanks had to literally be stacked on top of each other so that he would hit both tanks at the same time. Because if he didn't, then he would hit the same tank twice, which, as you can imagine, was a big deal. In fact, it was such a big deal, apparently it was bugged in Mythic, to the point where Complexity Limit, I believed, held off on actually doing their pulls against Sludge Fist after they had beaten everyone else to get to Sludge Fist, and waited for Blizzard to fix the bug. Because they saw it was a clear bug, and they decided we are going to wait until this thing is fixed before we actually do our actual Race to World First pulls on it.
Shockwave.
Destroy. Destroy.
Special coming.
Oh my goodness. My goodness, I've never seen that. That was actually really funny. To see him literally just pop up over on the other side of that door, that was actually pretty funny. Yeah. Now, I actually don't consider this as annoying of a fight for melee as Sludge Fist was, because Sludge Fist had the thing where you had to get out of his stomp, so you had to run away, then run back in after the stomp was done. You also had to make sure that you weren't near the tanks to get hit by that melee attack. Plus, on higher difficulties like Heroic, you had the chains to deal with. I hated fighting Sludge Fist on Heroic as a melee. I had to do that as both a DK and a Demon Hunter, and I hated it. This is not nearly as aggravating. There is a mechanic where we have to move out of the way to avoid getting hit by it, but it's not like the stomp mechanic that he had. Plus, the whole fight is not really that much of an actual DPS check in comparison to Sludge Fist, because we don't have like him having to run into the pillars to delay the fight, because if he runs into the wall, we take so much damage, it's done, you know? Stone soup. This is almost as tasty as what we serve on Pandaria. That's funny. If you guys can't see it, the mage said, "That's a sorry for the lust reset feast." Alright. So hopefully the tanks know they have to do that stacking thing.
2, 1, 1.
Alright, so yeah, the tank's over there, good. So the melee stand over here to avoid getting hit by his melee attack. But then he's gonna do this thing, yeah, those blue swirls. So you have to move out of the way to get hit by those, then move back in. And he's going to do that like every few seconds, so you got to make sure you're paying attention to that. Then he does this thing. So the range, gotta make sure that they are able to get out of that, because that hurts a lot. But apparently on LFR, it's actually not that bad, because he just stood there and took it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But usually we will, when we do this in our progression for our guild, we will make sure, oh, we gotta go ahead and do this. Because he puts this debuff, the dust, and that burrow there is the only way to get rid of it. But usually we would have all the melee stacked on one spot to try to limit the area where those swirls go. Because if we're all spread out like this, he's going to have it go much more spread out, as you can see. Whereas if we're stacked all together, he just kind of puts it in this one spot. You know, this is LFR, so fortunately, you know, those don't hurt that much. To make up for the fact that people aren't necessarily doing those kind of strategies all that well, you know, because, well, obviously we can't really expect people who only raid in LFR to know some of the proper strategies of boss fights, right? I mean, they're obviously more than free to look that stuff up if they want, but let's just say expecting that of them is not exactly the best thing to do.
Special coming.
Oh, he's just gonna burrow right here. Okay. Well, that was horrible RNG. The swirls came down right as he was doing the burrow. Gosh, it feels like I'm jumping better just because I'm a Pandaren now.
Special coming.
Of course, with Death's Advance popped, I didn't get knocked away. I just stood there and took it. I can take anything you throw at me. If you think that is enough to knock me away, monster, you have another thing coming. Why do I sound like... I'm trying to do my Pandaren voice, but then I realize I almost sound like George Takei. Oh my. I actually have the heroic version of that. Now this didn't drop for me. There was a weekly quest this past week which was do 5, or was it 4? I think it was 4 mythic dungeons, and you can get a random piece of heroic Sepulcher raid loot. And that weapon is what I got. So I'm now up to 254 item level. Yay! So yeah, I have a 265. It's got haste and versatility, which is nice, you know. So now Hollanders is up. Oh boy, this boss. Hollanders the Reclaimer. For eons, Hollanders traversed the cliffs of the Sepulcher, the first ones, fulfilling its sacred purpose of reclaiming ephemera. Ephemera. That. Oh, man. And returning it to the Great Cycle. With intruders now throwing this pattern into anarchy, the Ancient Keeper will do whatever it must to maintain order. This fight is nuts. This is only the LFR fight, but let's just say earlier today I was watching the Race to World First and people facing this thing. Congrats to Team Liquid, by the way, for getting the World First against Mythic Hollanders, which took, I believe it was 354 pulls. 350 plus pulls. Holy mackerel. Last I saw, other guilds were still trying to work on it. I think Echo was well over 300 pulls on that. So, but yeah, this fight is pretty nuts. Oh, man. So he's going to be doing this thing where he's just going to be kind of like staying there until he has to move, and then we have to kind of move with him. And he's going to be doing quite a bit of AoE damage. He's going to have these things that he's trying to reclaim, but we have to knock them away because if he gets them, they do giant raid-wide damage. Fortunately, there are some mechanics we don't have to deal with on that are on higher difficulties here in LFR. Like, we don't have to deal with bombs. We don't have to deal with the big lasers that circle around the arena. There's a number of things in the heroic and mythic fights that I saw, and I just thought, that is absolutely insane. And obviously don't get near the tanks because he does that blast there. He also can put this debuff on you called Crushing Prism. Hopefully the healers look for that and debuff it. But you see those motes here? Oh, never mind. That's the prism. That's how I... There they are. That thing. This thing right here. So basically here's where we have to become a soccer goalie. Kind of knock it away from the goal. Oh, and he also does these missiles here that will hit us, and then we have to get out of the way of getting hit by the shock afterwards. So now he's gotten up, and he's like, alright, gonna move to the next area. Walks like a big crab panzer tank here, basically. So he will unlock those ways over there. That was probably not a smart time for me to do that, but I'm okay.
Watch your step.
He has that knock there. So I have the Crushing Prism on me now.
Spread.
Which it keeps doing damage every second and reduces movement speed. Which even with Death's Advance, I'm still getting really, really slowed, as you can see. And oh boy, I need some health. So when he does this, he does a big amount of AoE damage because he's literally just kind of planting himself into the earth. But yeah, these can be. This is more of an actual gear check than Skolix is, because he's going to start to do a mechanic called Reclaim, where he pulls those things in even faster, and we get sucked in as well. He does more damage, and he puts a shield up. In order for us to stop that, by the way, if we knock that away, we take damage. So constantly knocking those things away is not a great idea. But sometimes we almost have to do it because, of course, we can't risk those things going in. So we are literally having to make sure that we play some, soccer goalie here in order to make sure that we do not have those things. Alright, so yeah, here's the Reclaim mechanic here, where he's sucking those things in and we're getting pulled in. You can see I'm moving there. And you can see all the damage that we're taking right now. This phase will stop because you can see the timer once we take down the shield that he put on himself. Once we do that, then the phase ends and we get him closer to the point where he will get up, which is right now, in order to go to the next area, which is going to be the third and final phase of this fight. And of course, the mechanics we've seen already will get even worse in the third and final phase. Now, we really, you know, the idea here is that you want to make sure that you're ahead of him, especially if you are either Night Fae or Venthyr, because of your extra maneuverability. I, of course, am a Necro DK, so I'm a little slower than that, and don't really have a way to deal with that. So it's like, okay, I'll just kind of manage. Let's see if this knocks me forward. Yep. Whee! More missiles. Hey.
Watch your step.
There's Shatter, and you want to make sure you're away from that, because it's going to hurt. Alright, so this is the big DPS phase right here. This is where he is, you know, he's not... This is his final location, and we got to make sure that we take him down. So this is where we should have lusted. Oh, apparently we are lusting now, but I don't benefit because I was still sated. Oh well. But yeah, look at all the motes that are coming out now. So now we are having to definitely do more DPS. And he is going to be having more motes for us to knock away. Yeah, this... And this is just the LFR version of this fight. Seriously, go look at what the Race of World First was dealing with them having to deal with multiple things here. Picking up and dropping bombs before they go off, you know, based on a certain timer. He's going to have rotating lasers constantly going around him. Just watching them have to deal with all that, I was just marveled, just in awe at what they were having to deal with. And I was just thinking, holy mackerel, no wonder this fight is the first big wall in this raid. No wonder it took them over 300 pulls in order to be able to pull this off. This thing was nuts. I think we got it, though. Woo!
You have this gun.
I find it amusing it gave me this achievement because I thought I had already gotten it. But I guess we did a different order of things in the first week. Because I don't think we took down Hollanders. But yeah, that... Wow. Now, I don't know how much harder... Now, I've been looking at some of the polls for Anduin. I have to take a look to see how that's been going tonight, to see how they've been doing on Anduin polls. And I have yet to see the last three fights of this raid, Lords of Dread, Rygalon, and Jailer. So I'll check those out to see how hard those are. But I'm curious to see how much harder those fights are going to be than Hollanders. Because Hollanders just seemed nuts with all the damage that it did. The way the fight operated. So we'll have to wait and see. Now, I'm guessing the next wing is going to feature Sausage, Pantheon, and Lyavim, because that's also a separate area. So when you look at the layout of this place, you have the Plains, which is these three bosses right here. Then you have... Not that. So we already did that. Alright, so then we have... No, that's still not it. Hold on. Alright, so there is Desenia, I think is what she's actually called. So then we have the Foundry, which because we go, we take the teleporter to this area, we make our way over here to Desenia, then we make our way over here to the Endless Foundry, which we have the Pantheon, and then Lyavim. So, yeah. So anyways, that will more than likely be the next wing. I'm so curious to see how some of these other fights are going to be brought down and made easier for LFR. Like, obviously, probably just a damage nerf, but we'll see. Obviously, certain mechanics tend to get removed for LFR in comparison to even normal, but yeah. So that's the first wing for LFR Sepulcher, the first ones, and more than likely what's going to happen is because I'm actually doing this before the reset, and I'm guessing more of these actual story chapters will get unlocked. So more than likely when we return, we will be continuing the campaign in this patch, which is, of course, the Secrets of the First Ones campaign, with the next chapter, A Means to an End, assuming it gets released tomorrow. Stay tuned.